Perfect, and we are recording. I'm gonna open the June 27th, 2023 meeting of the City of Springfield Historic Commission and take some roll. Chair Bo is absent. I'm present. Commissioner Fribley.
Here.
Present. Commissioner Helmer.
Present.
Commissioner Donovan is not with us yet. Commissioner Wood is absent. Commissioner Swenson Harris.
Present.
Commissioner Howard.
Present.
And Commissioner Shannon is absent. So that is 5 for a quorum. So we're going to get started. Does anyone have any additions or corrections to the agenda? Seeing none, the agenda stands approved. We no longer have minutes, correct?
Yeah, we're
It's just the recording. Perfect. Any public comment or business from the audience?
Sure. There was no business from the audience on SOS, so I believe we are clear.
All right. We have no historic land use applications. So we're going to move right along into the work plan. So we need to spend some money. That we have, well, let's see here. Let's go with the actual agenda. So awards. Jenna, it sounds like Tom has a little bit as well. So Jenna, do you want to start?
Sure. So, basically, the awards, the nominations were due on Friday, so we are now closed for additional nominations. We got 7. We have a good balance in each category.
That's
So,
awesome.
Yeah, and they're all really solid. So, like last year, we had a couple that like people sent in a name, but there was no other support content, like they're all good, full, bodied nominations. So, and then of course, and they all came in like on Friday, the last day, after a very lengthy extension, and lots of prompting, but whatever, it happened. Yay. We are now currently trying to, draft the scoring rubrics for the jury, which I have drafts of here. I would love any input, red lines, feedback. Also, though, I don't want to like burden you with trying to do that real time in this meeting right now, but I'll at least hand these out, and if you have thoughts, I guess I could just like pass these out.
Commissioner Donovan, present.
Pass those down. And then, so this is again just the first draft. These are kind of based on the Arts Council had a scoring rubric that we basically mooched off of for inspiration, where each of the 3 criteria are given a ranking of 1 to 4. And we were trying to define what does it mean to be a 4 versus be a 1, and like trying to give structure to that. So that's what you'll see in these drafts. So the one that's all filled in are the basically the rubric for using for scoring, and then the other ones that you see are the worksheet that a juror would use. So they would check yes or no for these upper ones that are just eligibility criteria. And then for the bottom part, they would check which box they feel like, meets the score for that project or for that submission. So anyhow, this is our very first draft out of press today, like 20 minutes ago. And yeah, but the jury is convening next Thursday, Friday or Thursday afternoon from 3 to 5 p.m. So quick feedback would be much appreciated. If you have any. As for monies, we basically, unfortunately for our expending, I got more of the bases donated from Urban Lumber. And then the medallions themselves, we will have an expense there for sure. I think they ended up being like $60 a piece or something. So depending how many we purchase, I mean, it's not going to be, well, it's probably not going to be more than 7 theoretically, because we only have 7 nominees. However, depending on the nominee, like I would give them the option of ordering an additional one, for example, if it was like a team effort or something, and they each want one for their shelf or something. So normally in that case, I would just have them pay for the additional medallion, right? But if we wanted to try to spend more, we could, try to predict that,
So
so.
we've got $1,000.
Yeah.
In that line item.
Okay,
And so even if we did 7, even
Yeah.
if everyone who submitted got
Yeah.
a medallion.
yeah,
It would be $420.
well, that's okay though, so we also, if we wanna have snacks at the event. I don't remember what else I don't know what else we could, well, we could end a little bit of snacks for the jury, maybe next week,
Sure.
right? But yes, that's. I don't know, we could get a band. I don't think we can spend the money on a band, actually, I don't know if there's a limit to that. All right, I'll stew on that a little bit,
Okay.
maybe we can spend it somewhere else too, but
Yeah, I was gonna say, we can move it around.
yeah.
But if you think you can spend $1,000, I think we're gonna have a lot of money moving around tonight.
Okay.
So,
Okay,
Really good catering.
yeah, really
like,
good catering, just, yeah.
Tentatively.
Like, one of the people that got a medallion last year, the gal that had the house remodel, like, she wants to have a second one so that she can actually like mount it next to her door, like we always envisioned, which is like my dream. So she can have one like on a shelf and then one like on the house. So. Again, we could probably purchase a few additional medallions if we wanted, but otherwise we're gonna have to, I don't know. Okay, and then. Yeah, so that is, I think, most of the awards. Well, and then, so the awards will be presented September 5th, Tuesday. It's a Tuesday council meeting after Labor Day. And then the kind of party, less formal awards gathering is going to be at the Art Walk on the 8th. So certainly we could, do some snacks.
Okay, so let's leave it at 1,000 for now and know that. If we want to move it around, it sounds like we've got room.
Yeah.
To move. Okay, next we're gonna go to support partner efforts. Tom, has William Lane's requested their money yet?
No, I've got your receipt, Jenna.
Yeah. That's
I,
$743.
I did not
on
see
postcards.
anything come through for William Lane just yet.
On postcards, you said it was.
743, 743.50, 742.50. We had $750 allocated. Yeah, it's okay. It's in the zone. It's in the zone.
Okay. Sorry, you all have to watch me do some math at the same
It's okay.
time.
Yeah, 743.50.
Yeah, 743.50. Okay.
Perfect. Okay, so we're actually going to. That is not already in here, right?
No.
As spent, perfect. So we're actually gonna need to move a little bit of money into postcards.
Yeah. There you go.
We are going to need to find about. $159 to move in there.
We can take that out of awards.
Perfect. Well, let's. I think awards might be the best way for us to spend some money,
Yeah.
honestly. So, and then, so we're taken care of on postcards. Then our. We have not spent. Do you have any insight on what's happening with our consultant money? Because I wrote it down as a thing that we needed to discuss, but then it didn't end up getting highlighted, so I was wondering.
Nothing has been spent as far as I'm aware. I take it the consultant is to help us with applications,
Correct.
and yeah, we have not received any applications. So-
Okay. In the past, we have. Shannon has been okay billing that amount and then owing that, Shannon's our consultant.
Mhm.
And then owing that money or owing that work to us in the following year.
Okay,
I don't know the exact details on that, but. I'm okay with it. If everyone else is, so it's currently budgeted.
was there any rolled over from the previous year?
There was a little bit.
Okay.
But not like, the entire budget of stuff.
Okay.
Okay. So, and then we have training. So Dr. David Lewis has tentatively agreed to give us a presentation. It would be $600 as his speaking fee, which is pretty reasonable. And then the Wildish is $255 for the actual like booking it. That leaves us with about $645.
I would suggest snacks or food or any other way, if we can, on that one as well to help spend it.
For sure, people want to have a little nashi pre or post lecture.
For sure. Yeah, as long as, I mean, I think we probably will not have any problem spending $600 on food. That'll go pretty quick. As long as we can actually spend it on food.
Well, and I think the other piece around that too, right, is we're envisioning this as something we invite the community to. We might want to consider if we want to put any budget towards publicizing it.
Yes,
Okay.
that is
Yeah.
one thing.
Okay.
So in that category of trainings, there are some specific trainings from the National Preservation Institute that are each $100 per license. So one of the things Christina and I talked about offline is that if we get down to the wire and we have a little bit of extra money, we can go ahead and purchase a couple of those licenses so that all of us and staff members can participate in those trainings in our own time when it makes sense. But those will be available next year as well. So it's not necessarily a budget priority, but a way to close out if we still have some surplus.
Okay.
I did also have. See, I'm gonna share this as well, an opportunity here. Structural waterproofing consultants. So that is also out there, if anyone's
Okay.
interested.
What's the name of the business? Is it just structural or?
Reserve,
Structural.
yeah, structural water consultants.
I mean, that could also honestly be an interesting public kind of
Yeah.
topic for everyone that's skeptical of stucco in our climate.
Yes.
Maybe we could do, I mean, I can volunteer to do just a little bit of research into what they do and how their methods compare, because I think ideally when we do that kind of public demonstration, it's good to have a couple of different vendors.
For sure.
And there are some other good ones around too. Would you mind forwarding that one to me and I'll do a little homework on it?
I'll forward you the string. I'm not sure where the original.
I actually dug back through my email for the price of the medallions.
Okay.
They were $65.95 each for the casting and $12 each for the engraving that we did on there. So it's actually almost like $78.
Okay,
It helps a little.
does. Also, first, let's move the money into postcards that we need to move in there. So we need $158.50. I would suggest to the committee moving that out of awards. Given that it's the one that we feel is gonna be the hardest to spend. If anyone is, I would entertain that motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded that we move $158.50 from the awards program line item to the postcards line item. Is there any debate or discussion? All right, seeing none, is there any objection to doing that? Seeing none, the motion stands approved. $158.50 will be added to the postcard line item and subtracted from the award line item. That leaves awards with $841.50.
It's been, if we did 7 medallions, that'd be 546, and then a couple $100 for snacks is not out of the realm of pretty possible, right?
For sure. Okay, so
Some posters and stuff to.
leave the rest of it as is. That would leave us with $1,500, which leaves us with $645 to do something in addition to Dr. Lewis. That is all we need to figure out. I guess, except for the consultant money. This is the last meeting we're gonna have before we can't spend the money anymore. So if anyone would like to make a motion, yes, Lena?
Well, so I'm wondering what happens if we don't fully spend the money?
We just give it back to SHPO.
Okay, but it doesn't impact our ability to get funding in the future.
Theoretically.
And yes, there's the match and then there's what the city has provided. So as long as we spend the match, as I understand it, then that fulfills what we've received from SHPO.
Okay.
So we would need to see what they provided us and then make sure we're spending at least that much.
So it might impact the relationship when we talk about getting a grant next year, but there's no rule that it would trigger that prevents us from doing anything next year. They would just maybe ask us like, but are you actually gonna spend it?
Again, because this has been a chronic problem with it.
So with that said, I do worry about what happens if Shannon is like, I was okay letting you roll over 10 hours, but $2,170 or $1,750 worth of consulting from her might be quite a lot of, I can't remember her rate, but that might be double 10 hours or more. Ish.
It's probably not double.
I do have a meeting with 922 B Street Friday.
That's the
Um,
church.
No, this is a residence. As I understand it, Drew worked with them quite a bit. They've done work on their house historic applications already. They contacted me. They will be replacing one window
Okay.
on the house, so there's an application that will be coming in. I can say with most certainty at this point, since it sounds like they know what they're doing. They've been through it before. They know that they need to apply for these things. So that's at least some consulting fee there.
You can go first.
Okay, so one easy money dump that would be beneficial to the greater good and historically relevant is the Atlas project that we're working on with the museum. Is a physical book that it's going to be published this fall, hopefully, and we literally could just, we had to put a deposit down on with the publisher, but if we wanted to give the publisher more money towards our final product, we could. We, I think, gave them $3,500, but we owe them like $7,500. So it would be basically an educational material, you know.
Yeah,
Just another thought that when we do get a report back from Willamette CRM and the survey work that they're doing, maybe some of Shannon's time could go to reviewing that report. I mean, I assume that we will also want to review it, but I would love to pay somebody to review that.
Yes, that'd be amazing.
that is a great idea.
Do we know when they're likely to deliver that? It would still be something that would be used in the hours that the credit hours.
Yeah, they touched base with us. Christine had reached out to them just to get a final, after the fact, what's going on, what should we expect? And I think that was last week, and the response was like a 6-week kind of review period of their work to compile it all.
Mhm.
Maybe longer than that, but for some reason, 6 weeks is sticking out.
Okay.
So I just had, I guess, maybe just an informational question, about how many hours of work from our consultant is one window?
I would be reviewing the overall application, I would think, but it's not an extensive application. It's just the winter. And I did check with them, they are replacing it and not restoring it, so it will require an application, so we can safely
Okay.
say we will receive an application, but yeah,
It's gonna be wood.
yeah. I don't have a very good sample at this point of
Okay.
of how much work is gonna take.
All right, got it.
But I imagine it'd be pretty extensive to review that, how extensive or how pressing would it be to put money towards that Atlas project?
I mean, we're just gonna fundraise to make it happen otherwise, so I would say. The Atlas is a great way at the end when we have a weird dollars and cents left.
Okay.
Or I mean, even a significant chunk would be great, of course, it's less that we have to fundraise for. But also, if we have other things to spend it on. Also great, but if we're not sure, then it's an easy, I think, an easy fit.
I think that too. So, does anyone want to make a motion to spend any remaining dollars on? Okay, so we actually already have the money in there for Shannon to do consulting.
Mhm.
So we don't actually need to move that. It doesn't seem like, as long as she's willing to do it.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, if anyone wants to make like a residual motion for whatever we do with it. After we've paid all of our bills, I would accept a motion, the Atlas project has been suggested.
When is, by what point? After we paid all of our bills? Is there a date? Or do
So
we just
August
wanna say-
31st is when we have to have the money, so, but I would wanna push that. I don't know how long it takes to get publishers' money, but
I mean, it's more just the, like, how long does it take for us to cut a check?
sure.
Right.
Yeah,
You think 2 weeks is enough time?
I think so. It would get routed through finance
Sure.
and however long that would take with them. I would think 2 weeks is sufficient.
And then we put a note on it, please deposit immediately.
Yeah, yeah. Or immediate deposit.
Yeah.
So say if any funds that were left in our account on, say, perhaps the 16th or 17th of August?
Seems a little close.
Too
Yeah,
close?
just cause like we have to,
One week back.
yeah, maybe push it a week.
Nine. All right,
Cause by the time it gets mailed and like processed through the city, check actually got mailed, deposited, all that.
okay.
So for.
And we don't anticipate any expenses on any of the things that we plan to do after that date, correct?
I wouldn't. Yeah. Cause the Wildish and Dr. Lewis is gonna be done. We can spend any money on education stuff before that, so, yeah, I don't think so.
Can we confirm whether we can actually use the money on snacks?
That's
Right.
very good.
Yeah.
Craft your motion in a way that it captures the snack money.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna say any remaining dollars on the night.
Okay,
That if everyone feels like that would make sense,
that's fine with me.
does not put us in a situation where we have expenses we want to make after.
The only. Tom has William Elaine, because in our motion, we authorized William Elaine to come back and ask for more.
Hmm.
Have they done that? Okay, so I would just also maybe craft the motion in a way that makes it clear that William Elaine missed their chance.
Okay, why don't we have a little bit more discussion?
Yeah.
For just a moment. With the word notwithstanding, I have to go
Just
into.
a clarifying question. So if our deadline for spending those last dollars, is in August, do we not have an opportunity? Are we meeting in July and?
I think we do not normally meet in July.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It's good to know.
I think is why Chair Bo just Christina keeps telling me like, oh, this is our last chance to move anything. And so
I mean, I think technically, because we're supposed to be alternating between regular meetings and subcommittee meetings or something, right?
So we wouldn't meet as a big group, we wouldn't meet. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose we could
We
have
could
a
always,
financing money subcommittee meeting that doesn't, you know,
we could just,
ad hoc committee or something, but we could also just meet again.
yeah. So I mean,
It does make sense for us to do everything we can now, but that helps. I was wondering what,
if we need to.
what the difference was, yeah. But if
Fix
we're not
that.
meeting in July in this capacity, that makes a lot of sense.
Commissioner Swenson Harris.
When we made that motion regarding William Lane, did we in any way give them a deadline by which to request? We said request, correct? Not it will be guaranteed.
Correct.
Okay, then I don't think it needs to be in the motion,
Okay,
because we can deny the request on the ground. that
Sure.
We have no money left in our account.
that's true. It's fair.
Okay, in that case, I'd like to make a motion.
Okay, Commissioner Swenson Harris.
I would like to move to direct any remaining funds on August 9th of this year towards the Atlas project.
Commissioner Swenson Harris has moved that we direct any remaining funds from our 2023 working budget towards the Atlas project on August 9th, 2023. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Howard. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, is there any objection to the motion? Seeing no objection, the motion is carried. And we will direct any remaining funds to the Atlas project.
And I will figure out how to do.
Very good. I think we did it. I think we did it.
Balancing our budget.
Balancing our budget. Very
So is
cool.
that a July rebalance?
Hopefully not. The e-board meet for that. All right, so continuing right along, we're well ahead of schedule. The Washburn RLS update. Do we have an update on that?
Other than it's complete,
It's complete.
there were no problems as I take it. We received no calls about people walking around looking suspicious, so that was good.
Hearing and whatnot.
So it's been completed and we will be receiving that report in the coming month or so.
Cool. Anybody, any questions, comments, concerns on that? All right, moving right along. Jaquaa House ILS.
I don't know, honestly.
Okay. No, I haven't heard anything.
Anybody? Yeah, I wasn't even sure who was kind of.
I don't know, do we have anyone? That
Christina
Christina?
has dropped it here and there, comments about it, that it's moving right along, so
Okay. No new information on the Jaquaa House.
Correct.
The Oregon Association, the Planners Historic Walking Tour. Any update on that?
No, we did meet, we discussed possibilities for it. That's not until October, so we can explore that, I think, in coming meetings.
All right. And then we're on to commissioner updates. Are there any updates from any commissioners? Any announcements? Yes, Commissioner Friendly.
If we get out of here by 5:30, well, I'm planning to leave by 5:30 if we can, because I want to go to this lecture. And you guys might also want to go to the lecture. I printed out a few versions of it. It's by Genevieve Middleton. It's about basically kind of creating policy, like planning policy with Indigenous perspective in mind, so. That's interesting on campus.
All right. Anybody else with any updates? All right.
I actually
Oh,
have,
yeah.
but it will be very short. I just this week happened to be reading about a historian in the Portland area who specializes in environmental history and has done a lot of cool story mapping around historic trees in Portland and elsewhere. And he's just doing really cool stuff. So if we get to a point where we want to survey historic trees or do a community outreach event
Yes.
about that, I think he's probably our, a good contender to do that. So I'll send it, well, can I send an email to everybody, or is that in violation of?
Is, I think information,
It's not a
Informational.
decision.
yeah, it's not decisional,
As long as we don't have a discussion.
right, yeah, nobody replied to it. Go ahead, Kirk.
I forgot to unmute. I just was wondering, do we have a commissioner now still assigned or whatever to the commission, to our commission like we did with the guy that finished his term? And then if we do, have we let that person know that they're, more than welcome to come to the meeting, although I really understand they're very busy and I don't, but have we done that or?
Yes,
Does
a new, what would it be, council liaison has been appointed, slipping my mind for some reason. But she is a planner in Eugene. So, yeah, there might be some timing conflicts with these meetings.
But did somebody let her know
Yes,
that?
She does.
She probably goes, well, I mean, I could understand, oh, no, but I mean, that, because the former consular was here quite often and it was nice to, just a suggestion, I guess.
yeah. And as I take it, she is quite versed in funding and grant related things, so any help from the council side would be great. I did invite her to the first few meetings that we had after her appointment to council. She attended the one, and then I don't think any after that. So like the last couple meetings, I have not put her on the invite list, but I'll continue to do so going.
Great, I can't hurt, I guess, that's all.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
All right. Anybody else, anything? All right, thank you all for a quick meeting. Thank you all for getting the budget stuff done. Without objection, I'm going to declare this meeting adjourned at 5:02 p.m.
Record. Not only